מעל כל פנים. These words, Umacha Hashem Elokim Dima Me'al Kol Panim, that God will wipe away all tears off the face, off all the faces. So I wanted to share with some of you that I just came home a little while ago from the funerals of the two precious Kedoshot, Maya and Rina D, who happened to be literally neighbors that live just about 4-minute walk from our house here. And as I sing the words, Umacha Hashem Elokim Dima Me'al Kol Panim, that God will wipe away all the tears. I've never heard so much crying before in my life, ever. I never heard so much crying. I never saw so many tears before in my life. And living here and being a little bit around in the world, you find yourself in many different scenarios, heavy scenarios. Been to many funerals, had to be present at some very, very difficult scenarios. But the tears that I saw today, the tears that I heard today, the tears that I have today, I never ever heard so much crying before in my life. I haven't posted anything or shared anything in the last few days. It's been quite impossible, as I still feel it is right now, to actually share what the Efrat community at large, but I know all of Am Yisrael is feeling. I never ever thought I'd sing the words of Umacha Hashem Elokim Dima Me'al Kol Panim on Chol Hamoed Pesach, the Chag of Cherut, the Chag of freedom, the Chag of finding our own rhythm. There are so many emotions going on right now in our hearts from the moment that we found out on Friday at approximately around noon or 1 p.m., I don't remember right now, it's a little bit blurry, we found out about the horrible tragedy that happened up north, up in the Bik'ah, on that road. And the phone calls start coming in. And this person, and that Rav, and that Chaver Kaddish, and in a matter of moments, life completely stops. And as I shared with a friend, right before finding out who the family is, because all we knew was that it's a family from Efrat, but Efrat's pretty big. Efrat, I think, has approximately 14, 15,000 residents. So that suspense, what's the suspense? What's the suspense? That's what I was sharing with a friend. What's the suspense? Am Yisrael, it's gone down. Chol Hamoed Pesach, on the roads of Eretz Yisrael. Of course, the way that Hashem designed it, humanly speaking, is that when you find out who it is, and you know who it is, you happen to know who the people are, that dagger does something to you. Ideally, it should be that every single time we hear about anything, God forbid, of such a tragic level, should place that dagger inside. But the way that it is that when you find out who it is and then you realize it's people you see all the time, what do you do? Where do you run to? What do you do? But this one, personally speaking, this one seeped in much, much deeper. And I'm very personally sharing why. A friend of mine just posted a picture of his girls, and he said, Shalom latmimut, bye-bye tmimus, bye-bye naivete, bye-bye simple world, bye-bye protected world. You see, my girls, the older ones, who are now 13 and 12, sheyichiu ad 120, my banot hametokot sheli, my precious the two older ones, they know these girls. They know this precious family. We were in the car on the way to take them to a friend's house who has a pool, to have them swim a little bit on a hot Friday afternoon, Chol Hamoed, and we're in the car. And that phone call came in telling us who it is. And we know that my daughters, who have gone to the most incredible camp every summer for years, a camp run by the D family, we knew that they know this is it. What do you tell them? This will shatter. So we're raising our children here in Eretz HaKodesh, in Eretz Yisrael. This one's going to shatter. I thought it'd still be a few years, God forbid, if at all, till that tmimut would, And here I see that when we told our daughters what happened, so it brought me back to when I also said, bye-bye, Tmimus. When the bus bombings began here, when I was just about the same age my oldest daughter is. And that's why, with all the pain that exists, there's such a sense of anger. Who had the chutzpah to take everyone feels like this personally. Who had the chutzpah to take my daughters tmimus away? And then when you step out of that, and your heart and soul opens towards the family whose life is changed forever right now, you forget about your own pain. You stand in awe, absolute wonderment and amazement. At the heroic nature of the D family. Anyone knows at the funeral right now, your life's not the same. Your life is not the same. Anyone that watched it, your life is not the same. Seeing these two precious sisters rolled out, and the three remaining siblings with their father fall on their beloved, on their loved ones. These are images that don't wound you, they scar you. But you know what? The depth of today, the depth of today is that Am Yisrael is such a secret. We're such a secret. Mi ke'amcha Yisrael. Who is like your people, Israel? Goy echad, one nation, ba'aretz, here. As the Ema Banim Smecha makes a clear diuk, he says, you get this sense of Am Yisrael, of having Am Yisrael being carved into you, scarred into you. Here, Mi ke'amcha Yisrael, goy echad ba'aretz. I sat with my daughters at dinner tonight and asking them, what does it mean to you to be part of Am Yisrael? That's what this whole Indian, this whole thing is being part, Nishmat Am Yisrael. Yeah, at the funeral, I remember, even though it seems like it's a days, feels like it was a few months ago, it was just about 2 hours ago. There were thousands and thousands and thousands of people. I've never seen so many people at a funeral that I remember. I sat in the Kohen booth that they have at the cemetery here. And like I've had the unfortunate privilege of sitting there many times with the chief rabbi, Rabbi Riskin. He should have a refuah shleima and feel good. Rabbi Riskin came in. Rabbi Brander, the head of our Torah Stone. Oded Revivi, the mayor of Efrat, is a Kohen as well. Yoni Riskin, Rabbi Riskin's son, was with us. And then 2 gentlemen walked in. And who were the 2 gentlemen that walked in? The grandfather and the uncle of the girls. They came in from England, who were also Kohanim. The grandfather, the father, and the brother of Lucy, Leah Bat Sipora, who's fighting for her life as we're speaking right now. Tefillahs, who doesn't even, what do we know about her consciousness, but on this world level, she's not even aware that her 2 daughters were just buried. And they were buried in a machpelah style. They were buried together, these 2 precious sisters. So when the grandfather, the Kohen, and the uncle walked in, he was hearing his grandchildren sobbing. And he said, my grandkids don't have their mother to console them. My grandkids don't have their mother. She's in the hospital. It was such a state of what we call a hester panim, a hastara. Such a state of concealment. I saw things at this funeral I never saw before in my life. The singing was probably the closest we'll ever hear to what the Levium sounded like when someone brought a korban. In the middle of the funeral, I saw a Hasidic Yid, a Chassid, run in with a kittel, mamish, dressed like he was the Yom Kohen Gadol, going into the Kodesh Kodashim, swaying back and forth. Davening, mamish, like it was right then and there, Musaf Yom Kippur, the Kohen Gadol doing his avodah. I couldn't believe my eyes. And the moment that they announced for those to come and carry the bodies to final burial, this chassid wearing a kittel ran and grabbed it. If anyone ever needs a boost in their emunah or wants to open their heart, till Mashiach comes, all you have to do is listen. Listen to the Abba's Hesped. Listen to Rav Leo. Listen to his Hesped. Watch his Hesped. Leo and I were in yeshiva together, got smicha right around the same time, Yeshivat HaMiftar, about 16, 17 years ago. My daughters just told me that they remember seeing some of the girls come and daven by our shul on Friday nights. Last night we all got together here in Efrat, in Zayt Ranan, the neighboring shul, the shul where the D family belonged to. And after a few Perkei Tehillim and some words of Chizuk, we sat there and we sang and sang and sang and cried and davened and screamed. There's one thing that I've been asking this in my shul, and I want to ask it to everyone here as well. If it's okay to ask of you, I'm going to say it in Hebrew and in English. The Geulah began when we started screaming. Vayizaku vatal shavatam ele Elokim, it says in Parashat Shmot, that's how the engine began, the engine that got us out of Mitzrayim. These are the days of celebrating getting out of Mitzrayim. It's also the days we began saying Sfirat HaOmer. There are words we say right after we blessed the night. We just blessed the fourth night of Sfira here in Eretz Yisrael. And we say the words, Harachamanu yachzir lanu avodat beit hamikdash limkoma b'mera b'yameinu amen selah. Merciful one, Harachaman. And on Shabbos we were saying, what does that mean to us now when we say Harachaman? Merciful one, Harachaman. Harachaman, merciful one, who has mercy on us, who has compassion on us. Restore to us the service, the holy service in the temple. Harachamanu yachzir lanu avodat beit hamikdash limkoma b'mera b'yameinu amen selah. I've been asking the Chaver in the shul, scream it. Louder. Louder. Harachamanu yachzir lanu. Harachaman. Scream it out. V'anachnu lo neda ma na'aseh ki alecha einenu. We have no idea what we're going to do. Our eyes are on you. But when you listen to those words, Hashem says, and my eyes are mamish on you. Please scream, scream. So in our show we've been screaming it every night. כל לילה אחרי ספירת העומר, לא רק אומרים בשקט או בטון נמוך את התפילה, הרחמן יחזר לנו, עבודת בית המקדש למקומה במהרה בימינו את סלע, אלא ביקשתי, ואני ממשיך לבקש מכולכם, להעלות את הטון של התפילה הזאת, הרחמנו יחזיר לנו עבודת בית המקדש למקומה. במהרה בימינו אמן סלע. Many people say, if you had a Beis HaMikdash now, it would be the worst thing in the world. Why? Because look at us, we just don't get along with each other. We just have a building. Let Mashiach come and build the Beis HaMikdash, and he'll explain to us. He'll solve everything. He'll solve it. He'll explain to us how it could all work out, even though we haven't figured everything out. Just like when we left Egypt after 210 years, which should have been 400, it worked out, right? We got out. So whatever we think we need to do in order for we to live in redemption land, let it be. Let it just be. Let the collective soul of Am Yisrael scream. Scream as loud as the screaming that we heard today at the funeral. Scream even louder than the wailing, the absolute wailing, the crying out of all the precious Efrat youth, not just the youth, the adults, whoever was there. Not a dry eye, not a dry soul. Let us just start screaming again. I know that everyone is very big right now into speaking about the need to let emotions be felt. And the need to admit that it's so hard and seemingly impossible. But let us, in the name of all of Am Yisrael, be screaming. Third group of siblings to be killed in the streets of Eretz Yisrael in the last, month and a half? 2 months? I think it's time to start screaming. A little bit louder. Just a little bit louder. So I barely have a voice right now, and I could use everyone's harmony. want to together pray and daven and scream for the true consolation for the D family, which will be Aleph, a refuah shlema for Leah bat Tzipora, but B, v'yivaseh lanu besorot tovot yeshuot v'nechamot. For them, it's only the Geula, and reuniting with precious Maya and Rina. May the Ribono Shel surround them with an abundance of love, a type of love that never existed before in the world. May Hashem send infinite kochot to the Rav of the Shul, Rav Bienstock, sweet Rav Yair, precious Rav Yair. To all the neighbors here in the neighborhood, to all the kids, to all the children, to all the campers that are so young and are discovering, for many of them, the first time in their life, that some things just aren't fair. Shomer, Shomer Yisrael, Shomer, Shomer Yisrael, Shemo Sheli Yisrael, Shemo Sheli Yisrael, Ve'al Yovan, Ve'al Yovan, Ve'al Yovan Yisrael, האומרים Shema Yisrael, Shomer, Shomer Yisrael, Shomer, Shomer Yisrael, Shemo Sheli Yisrael, Shemo Sheli Yisrael, Ve'al Yovan, Ve'al Yovan, Ve'al Yovan Yisrael, האומרים Shema Yisrael. Di-di-da-da-dai, di-di-dai, di-da-dai, do-do-doi, di-da-dai, di-da-dai, da-da-dai, di-da-dai, di-da-dai, di-di-di-dai, di-da-dai, di-da-di, di-da-doi, di-da-do-do-do-doi, di-da-dai, da-da-dai, di-da-dai, da-da-di. To share with you one more thing. There was one thing that the Abba said, Rav Leo said at the funeral, that it was, everything he said. But he was asked, how is he keeping it together? His wife's in a coma, she's critical condition, he's bearing his 2 daughters. How is he holding it? And he said something so profound. He said that he had listened, I think he said he went through all of Reb Ephraim Goldberg's series on Emunah, through YU Torah. And a theme that keeps on coming up in that series is that Emunah means to look at what you have. Pay attention to what you have and not at what you don't have. That's what he said that Reb Ephraim Goldberg said. And then he turned to his 3 remaining children and he said, I have 3 children. While his 2 children, his 2 princesses, were going up to Shamayim. If he can look at his children that are still alive and say, this is what I have. Each and every one of us can look at everything that we have with just a little bit more of a focus on what we have. We have so much. We have each other. We have Am Yisrael. We have the privilege, hopefully all of us really soon, to live in Eretz Yisrael. We have love. We have Torah. We have patience for each other. We do. Not to think about how much patience we don't have, but realize how much we do have. We have Nigunim. We have the Baal Shem Tov. We have so much. Emunah is to look at what we have and not at what we don't have. I called Rabbi Goldberg from the car on the way home from the funeral just to tell him that his lesson that was given over at this funeral was just so beyond this world, life-changing. He shared with me he actually was watching the funeral live and he couldn't believe what he was hearing. I think that Am Yisrael will know what to do. Am Yisrael will know how to wake up in the manner which we so need to collectively wake up. Once we are fully focused on everything that we have, and when we know what we have and what's waiting for us, we will finally be able to destroy all the enemies in the world that are trying to make us focus on what we don't have and what's been taken away from us. So from Efrat, from such a heartbroken Efrat, but like I wrote in the title here, it's true, it's so heartbroken, but only a heart that's broken is a heart that's open. The heart is wide open. Our precious youth here, their hearts are so open right now. Please Hashem, may we find the right words. May we find the right motions, the gestures, just that thing that we've been waiting for. Ki mechakim anachnu lach. We've been waiting for you. We've been waiting for only you, Hashem. No one's running away from you. This devastation has brought us all to run to you, only to you. Master of the universe, I will sing a song to you. Just like you've been hearing all these songs by the most broken Yidden in the world. Where will I find you? Oh, but where do I not find you? Where I go, there you are. Where I stay, there you are too. Only you, you alone, you again, only you, only you, only you, only you. Only you, you alone, you again, only you, only you, only you, only you. stay. There you are too. Only you. Only you. Only you. Only you. Only you. Only you. You alone. You again. Only you. Only you. Only you. Only you. Only you. You alone. You again. Only you. Only you. Only you. Only you. You alone. You again. Only you. Only you. Only you. Only you. Only you. You alone. You again. Only you. Only you. Only you. רק אתה. תהא נשמתם של שתי האחיות הקדושות והטהורות, צרורה בצרור החיים ויבולה מוות לנצח, ומוך השם אלוקים דין על כל פנים, וישלח רפואה שלמה ללאה בת ציפורה, ונזכה כולנו לקבל פני משיח צדקנו, במהרה בימינו אמן.